The 7 times to do a Roth conversion. All right, this is from Alan Roth, and if Alan Roth writes it, I want to read it. That's a fact because I'm a big fan. Big fan, first time, long time. You can see the sun on this side. I got black on shadow on this, sun on that. Pretty cool, huh? I got Miss Betsy behind me. The kids are upstairs working at school, and Charlotte's at work. And so it's like the old days where it's just me in the house, but we're not quite in the house yet because of the pandemic. Don't even get me started on the new CDC rules or where they're recognizing you can catch it via aerosol. All right, anyway. Should your clients convert some of their traditional tax-deferred money to an after-tax Roth? Though I'm not related to the late eponymous Senator William Roth from Delaware, I spent a significant amount of time with my clients working at this very issue. Here's how to think about and frame the conversation with your clients. I'll conclude with 7 situations to consider for each client when advising on this issue. I'll start simple, but I'll get more complex. Nothing about taxes is ever simple. I agree with that. All right, so we already know about the difference between the Roth. The 3-bucket approach is, let's talk. I guess we'll go into this. I'm not talking about 3 buckets of money spent down, such as safe bucket. I'm talking about 3 buckets of taxes. You get your tax deferred, right here, your tax free, and your taxable money, your brokerage accounts, or your bank accounts. Let's face it, none of us know what the future tax rates will be. Sure, I think where taxes will likely go up, but logic doesn't usually prevail when it comes to politics, Okay, so the math behind the contribution, I've heard it said that the Roth conversion makes sense if you can leave it in that account for more than a decade before tapping into the assets. Oh, Alan says he couldn't disagree more. Interesting. We all learned something in elementary school called the commutative property of multiplication. Changing the order of the numbers we are multiplying does not change the product. The simple translation is that if a client's marginal tax rate today is the same as it in the future, the outcome is the same. To illustrate, let's say the client is in a 30% marginal tax bracket today, and our best guesses will be in the same in retirement. When the money is needed, let's look at both the 5 and 30-year time period before the money is needed and use it at 10. Okay, here's the math. It's the same. So you're saying the math would be the same. So if you're in the same tax bracket, you should be indifferent between a traditional and Roth. All right. If one's marginal tax rate is lower upon retirement when the funds are withdrawn, the traditional is superior. If the higher, the Roth wins out. But even if the tax rates go up, it doesn't necessarily translate into a higher marginal tax rate for your clients since they may have little or no earned income in retirement. The 2 ways the Roth contribution or conversion will backfire are lower marginal rates upon retirement or a major tax overhaul. All right, so basically it points out that, okay, so, all right, I would just pause there for that. That's a lot to chop on. So basically what he's saying is, look, if you're going to be in the same tax bracket, you should be indifferent whether or not you do the Roth or not. I completely disagree with that. I completely disagree for so many different reasons. When you look at Maggie, he does talk about Maggie, modified adjusted gross income, but Social Security taxes. Look, you can't just say my tax bracket, my marginal tax rate today is 15, my marginal tax rate in the future will be 15. Well, there's so many other things to consider. I'm surprised Alan. I'm sure he gets into it more because I like Alan, but I'm surprised he kind of, overlooked that. It's weird. All right, so let's see. First, complexity. Conversion and pay the taxes from a taxable account. All right. Now let's look at the same example using 5 years, but assume it's a conversion and the taxes are paid from a taxable account rather than an IRA. All right. So he's basically saying, I don't want to read that whole thing. It's going to just, what he's going to say is, hey, look, if you're spending money to do a Roth conversion from a taxable account, you're spending money from assets that could be taxed as qualified dividends or long-term capital gains as opposed to ordinary income tax. So essentially, you're spending down assets that are your tax lower in order to pay the tax on conversions that it's going to be taxed higher. So I would imagine he says don't do that. Okay, maybe. But if it's sitting in a bank account, it's not the same. So anyway, whatever. Second complexity, some of the tax-deferred accounts are fine. Okay. Estate planning. All right, so we have estate tax. All right, I'm not going to. Conclusion. In helping. Has he got 7 on here? Okay, good. So here's the 7 steps or the 7 reasons. It's an article. In helping a client decide to do Roth or partial conversions, I consider the following and lead toward converting a Roth based on any affirmative action to the following. Is the Roth pot of money small compared to the taxable and tax deferred? All right, so remember, we got 3 buckets of money: your post-tax, your tax-free, your tax deferred. Is the current marginal tax bracket low? This could be the case if the client retired before taking Social Security or required minimum distributions. Yep. Will the client have high income retirement, such as pension income? Will the RMDs be burdensome if the client doesn't convert some money to the Roth? Does the client have any after-tax money in their tax-deferred accounts? And if all are there some estate planning benefits from conversions? Will the client benefit from a possible state income tax exemptions from converted? I can't believe it doesn't talk about being married. So those are 7 reasons. Okay. I guess he's saying, is the current marginal tax bracket low? While answering yes on any of those favors Roth conversion, this must be considered in the context of the dominant reason not to convert. A traditional IRA is better if the client's marginal tax rate would be lower at the time funds are withdrawn than as a conversion. For example, if the client uses their traditional account to pay the taxes under age of 59.5, the 10% conversion penalty on the amount withdrawn to pay taxes may apply. Okay, IRMA, we talked about IRMA, that's the Income with Respect to Medicare Adjustment Act. Piper also knows generating $1 too much in income could cost $1,000 per person. That's just an odd article. I'm actually quite disappointed. I almost don't feel like posting this video because that article was well, I'll post it there for you to read. I just that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the whole it makes sense, but just okay. Let's just go back to the 7 reasons. Is a Roth pot of money small compared to the taxable and tax deferred accounts? I mean, I get, from tax diversification in of itself, that's, I don't know, that's just not that big of a deal. It's weird. Is the current marginal tax bracket low? That makes sense to me. But if you're working right now, you're still paying FICA. You could still be in a low marginal tax bracket, but you still have FICA. I don't know. That's odd to me. But I mean, I get what he's saying. If you're in a lower tax bracket and you expect to be in a higher tax bracket, do the conversions. I get that 100%. That's just odd. Will the client have high income retirement? That's kind of the corollary or the mirror image of the other one. Will you have higher income because of a pension or other income that you have? And if you're going to have higher income, you definitely want in a Roth. Will RMDs be burdensome? That's all kind of the same thing because RMDs will add to the higher income. Jeez Louise, dog, man. Does the client have Pablo? I remember when Pablo barks, you gotta paw the like button. What is it that you're barking at, handsome McDog? No, it's just Calvin. Pablo. Oh, okay, let me pause this. I guess it's just your brother. His brother that came downstairs and Pablo's going nuts. All right. Are there estate planning benefits from conversions? Well, I mean, there's some estate planning benefits, but with the Secure Act, we're going to have some minimal. I mean, I guess you could say estate planning benefits in that you're reducing the amount of your estate by paying the tax on the conversion amount. It's just, I don't know. That seems minimal to me. I guess if you're in a pretty significant high estate, no running. You just did OIT, dog. Now you're seeing what I got to deal with my crazy kids. And crazy kid 1 is this guy. Anyway, so I'm somewhat disappointed in this. All right, so I'll just post this. Probably not my best video ever, but you can read the article. And I like Alan Roth. I thought he could have done a little bit. I thought this would be a little bit more informative. So I'm disappointed, but still, Alan Roth's a good guy to follow. We'll see you.